I've bought the cheapest Toyota 86 in the country, and the entire deal was done on good faith. So I bought this car completely sight unseen from a town which is probably about 2 hours from where I am. And the entire deal was done on WhatsApp. The most I had seen were videos and pictures of the car. I took the seller on his word that the car doesn't have any issues other than what he had declared. So we'll have a look at what we got and what's the plan going forward.
I must admit, I did have many a sleepless night wondering whether the car would actually arrive. Considering I'd never actually seen the car in person and only chatted to the owner on WhatsApp.
Let me give you a closer look into the car and what we have then. So, on the face of it, all good. I mean, very nice. Boot spoiler on here. Paint looks to be in awesome condition. Let's have a look a bit under. Yeah. Standard exhaust. Oh, muffler. Put into the interior. Oops. The steering, it's got some discoloration on it, I suppose. It's the, what is that, Alcantara? That's a bit worn. It is an automatic. See the seat here, a little bit of scuffs. Let's see it. It's all good. There's a bit of a scratch on that little dash panel. Nice touchscreen, factory fitted touchscreen. Rear seats, all looks fine there. Yeah. If you're looking at the roof, no hail damage, no dents. All in all, good deal for being the cheapest 86 in the country. And then this is where things start going a bit not so good. So it's missing its heart. I do have the battery, yay. But the story with this is apparently this car had a bearing knock and the engine had been removed to be repaired. But as with a lot of mechanics, things didn't go well. And eventually the guy ended up giving up on the project and buying another one. Buying a running 86 that time. So the good news, we've got, well, supposedly have the entire engine. There's some bits in here. There's more down here. You got your intake manifold with injectors. You've got your, is it the plate it's called on the auto? Downpipe. Some other bits that are in there. The front timing cover, or is that what it's called? I think there's more bits in that box. And then on this side, we've got the actual engine. Well, the rest of the engine, should I say. So you got your cams in here. There's an engine block. Is that a head? No, that's a head. And another head. And then the two engine blocks in there. So we get to what's the plan then? So the plan is to repair and sell. What we want to check here is we notice there's all of these YouTubers that are buying, repairing and selling all these vehicles, and majority of them are in the States or in Australia. Well, mostly in the States, right? Some in the UK as well. And we know it is possible. Well, they've proven that it is possible. The story that they sell us is that it's possible to do this. Buy a car cheap, fix it yourself with some professional help where you need, and to sell it at a profit. So the question is, can we do the same thing in the African market or the South African market? I'll give you all of the figures of how much we paid, how much we spend, and eventually how much we sell the car for. So this is a 2014 high automatic. And these are currently selling for about anywhere between 230 to 260,000 Rand, depending where you're getting them from. So let's work on a ballpark of 245, right? We've spent 120K, 120,000 buying the car, right? The good news is we've got some engine bits, right? Which we could either put this engine back together, or we could source another engine, which would mean we'll have some duplicate parts, and we can sell some of these engine bits to recover some of that cost. Or the third option is that we buy a new short block from Toyota and then use whatever bits from here that we can. We would still need to then assemble that with the heads, and I'll show you that the head on this does need some machining, right? So again, positive here is that we'd be able to say it's got basically a brand new engine from Toyota, and we'd have receipts to prove that, right? The drawback is it's still, yes, the sub-assembly hasn't been taken apart, but the rest of it has, so it's still going to be a motor that's been opened and reassembled. So with that, again, the reliability bit of it, and yes, I mean, you can argue you may have zero problems with that, but there is the possibility, right? Cost-wise, the short block at around 36,000 Rand. In addition, we'd need to engineer the heads, which I'll show you, and we'll need to pay somebody to reassemble the whole thing. So far we're sitting at about 50,000. Okay, so there you have it, our three options. One being rebuild this engine, two being get an entire second-hand engine, and three being source a short block from Toyota and then use what we have to get back to a full engine. And let me give you that promised look into the current state of the engine. Okay, I know I told you I'll show you the reason why this engine failed, or why the bearing knock has occurred, but I can't find the offending item. It's in my box of stuff somewhere. But what happened was, and I've got a picture of the pickup. So the oil pickup is blocked full of silicone. I've seen that this car did have the valve spring recall done, and it's a known issue that Toyota uses too much of silicone or of sealant when they reassemble the engine after doing that valve spring recall. And what happens is bits of the silicone break off, fall into the engine, and block the pickup. So that's exactly what's happened here, which has caused oil starvation, and this is what we end up with. So let's start off with the block, and you can see the scoring. Yeah, right. So all of that shouldn't be there. Okay, you can see that there's a hot spot there. All right, and to the point where even the head was starved of oil so much that if you look at, here we go, the cam seats, shouldn't look like that. So basically, this engine was starved of oil. And that is what has led us to where we are. The question is, where to from here? Let me know what's your thoughts, which would you go for and why, down in the comments.